So Deadline has kind of confirmed, well, also kind of not, because well, they're just like us. They have inside sources, but trust me, everything Deadline says always comes true. So these are supposedly all the Marvel movies coming out in 2028. That's 3 years from now. Jeez Louise. Okay, if it ends up like the way I think it's gonna happen, it could be possible that they want to prioritize in making Doomsday and Secret Wars. So, these three movies are supposedly going to be Blade, Black Panther 3, and Fantastic Four 2. So let's start off with Blade. First off, I'm gonna say finally. Second of all, this is also kind of a massive problem too, because I don't know. Deadlight didn't say if Mahershala Ali is still on board or not, but even if he is, he's gonna be like 50 by the time the movie comes out. So what are you gonna do? All right, are you just gonna make him like an elderly vampire hunter? Which, I don't think that's a bad idea, because, because I'm saying it's not a bad idea because it shows that he's been doing it for a long time. But yeah, if they've been making, if they're finally making a Blade movie, all right, this shows that they finally satisfied Mahershala Ali because all right, let me recap the production of this movie. Okay, so 2019 they had their Nintendo Direct, but we have a wonderful announcement. The Switch theme, and so Mahershala Ali grabs the hat, puts it on, everyone starts cheering. All right, they announce all the writers and directors of all this shit. All right, 2022 San Diego Comic-Con, they announced that that the movie has a release date, but oh no, stop shooting, everyone, shut it down, because Mahershala Ali is not happy with the script. Then director leaves. Then you wanted to make the movie about Blade's daughter, and you wanted to bait and switch us, make the movie about Blade's daughter instead of just Blade, a bunch of fucking women, because Marvel cannot keep their fetish for replacing men with women in their pants, and you wanted Black Knight to be in this movie somehow. Black Knight's a character I like in the comics, but I don't think he should be in a Blade movie. Then you didn't want Blade to be rated R, you wanted it to be PG-13 and goofy, because Ken Feige is a fucking retard. And now, 9 years later, you're finally releasing the movie. So, is Mahershala Ali still going to be on board or not? Or, more importantly, is the movie not going to be woke? Is it not going to have Blade's daughter and be your typical Marvel bait and switch? I really hope, because apparently they did change things. It's just, I'm not going to go into too much of the details, because I really don't feel like it right now, But yeah, I kind of do have optimism that this Blade reboot can be good. I mean, if I were Marvel, I'd do a Wesley Snipes movie, like a one more Wesley Snipes movie. Ryan Reynolds said he wants that. And, hey, maybe that is what we're getting. Cheers, that's the case. There's only one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade. And then Deadpool looks at the camera, foreshadowing the future. So now, Black Panther 3. We are finally gonna have T'Challa recast, 5 years after the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman. And so some people are saying, oh, is this gonna be, T'Challa's son on Haiti? Or, I mean, if it was, he'd probably be a villain, if you know anything about Haiti. I've already mentioned earlier in the video that I just want them to reboot the MCU, and that's what I think they're going to do with this Black Panther 3. Alright, an actor, I don't remember his name, said that he's in the running for new T'Challa, and Denzel Washington has confirmed at this point that he's going to be in the movie. What I really hope, I'm thinking of making this a episode of Comic Obscurity, if you follow my channel, I really hope they adapt the Jack Kirby Black Panther run. That is a banger story. That's a great story. I know some people in the comic fandom are mixed about Jack Kirby as a standalone writer, but I think he's great. I personally think he's great. But yeah, Black Panther, a new big franchise for Marvel. I love the character in the comics, and I'd love to see T'Challa return. And I hope this actor continues on Chadwick's legacy. All right, Fantastic Four 2. Fantastic Four. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, I'll stop. Alrighty then. So, okay, although as of the time I'm recording this and uploading this, the movie is still not out yet. We got a month left. And all I could say is, from what I've seen so far, I think the movie's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be filled with modern Marvelisms, like Sue being the leader and female Silver Surfer. I could let go of Pedro Pascal being Reed Richards, but female Silver Surfer, I'm never letting that go. The fact that we live in a world where both adaptations of the Coming of Galactus storyline have an accurate version of one antagonist and an inaccurate version of another antagonist, it's kind of sad, but 10 years from now, we're going to look back at it and say, oh, that's kind of funny. And then we're going to remake it again, and both are going to be inaccurate, or maybe both are going to be accurate, who knows? It's kind of a curse, I must say. But yeah, I'm planning on doing a stream reviewing the movie, because I love these characters, and I just hope the movie's good. And I'm still working on the comic dub, folks. Alright, I have this strange little feeling that the first comic we're dubbing is almost done. I'll talk about details of it on a later video. So, I decided to look at a plot leak. That shows how pessimistic I am about this movie, folks. So I won't spoil anything in case that plot leak is true. But I think at this point, because there's been some speculation online, they're gonna keep that same universe that the Fantastic Four, this movie takes place in. And I really hope they do. And something that I hope they do with this franchise moving forward is, they don't make it a trilogy, they make it a quadrilogy. Not just for the irony of it, but also because Fantastic Four equally has a big world and a big lineup of stories that even, like, the same as Spider-Man, the same as X-Men, the same as the Avengers, you know, like, their world is so fucking big. At least their world within the Marvel Universe. But yeah. And I would love, and honestly, like, who do you think the villain's gonna be? We know at this point Red Ghost and Mole Man are gonna be in first steps, and I'm a little bit pessimistic if you're gonna make one of them the main villain of this movie. I mean, I would love to. I would love to see you do it, you know? Maybe you can handle it a good way. Who knows? Maybe you could adapt the Frightful Four, make some negotiations with Sony to put Sandman in this movie, and, you know, have it also be the redemption arc of Medusa. Or, I don't know, introduce the Mad Thinker or the Puppet Master. Or maybe you could reboot the Skrulls, you could reboot Namor. You could reboot fucking Black Panther in this universe. Alright, if all this info Deadline is saying is true, a Black Panther movie and a Fantastic Four movie coming out the same year is making my nerd brain go burr. But again, I really hope Marvel exits out of this woke era. And I have a feeling that they could by this time, but who knows at this point. So yeah, but if Fantastic Four First Steps does end up being bad, I really hope history doesn't repeat itself where, you know, they make a sequel anyway because the movie was a success. I'll get to that in a bit. And the sequel is equally as bad, and then the franchise is fucking dead forever. I'm pretty sure you all know what I'm talking about with that scenario. What? Did I just say success earlier? Yeah, that's because the movie is tracking to be big. Now, there could be many reasons why that could be the case. Who knows? Maybe female Silver Surfer worked. Maybe that's what everyone's been wanting. I'm just kidding. No. The movie is gonna be a hit, quote unquote. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions. I don't think it's gonna make $1 billion. I think it's gonna be like at least in the 500 range. It could be because maybe comic fans are interested in this movie because of how much of an impact those characters had. Or maybe it's because the marketing worked. Like all the snack promotions, the pizza, the cereal, the milk. I was gonna say something inappropriate, but I'm like, nah. It should, like, this is the most marketing I've seen out of a Marvel movie in a long time. Alright, aside from Deadpool and Wolverine. Alright, I think this movie has more marketing than Deadpool and Wolverine. Maybe the marketing worked. Maybe the marketing campaign worked. Maybe Captain African American and the new Smash Brothers. I'm calling it that on purpose. Don't worry, I didn't mistook it. Should have done marketing like that. But yeah, so yeah, if this movie makes a lot of money, it's gonna get a sequel. And I just hope that for the sequel, you don't jump straight into characters like Annihilus or Bring Back Galactus or like anyone that's considered just a world-ending event. Like go to someone who's equally as a threat, but is not as big as Galactus. Like not as scary as Galactus. Again, making Galactus the villain of this first movie was such a terrible idea, But yeah, there's a lot of potential you could do with a sequel, and I really, really fucking hope, alright, that this movie is good. Alright, you know, I can happily confirm that the identity politics side of the marketing is fake. Like Johnny being sensitive and not being a womanizer, that's been deconfirmed at this point. Like, there was a leaked scene from Mexico Comic-Con, or, I don't know, BorderCon. I couldn't help myself where he calls Silver Bikini sexy. Now the images in my head are, you know, making me jump to the same conclusion. And of course, throughout the trailers, he's still the ADHD dickhead that we always depict him as. But yeah, I think this movie's gonna be okay, especially after watching that Little Caesars commercial. I think this movie is probably gonna be the most effort put into a Marvel movie. But I just don't know how you can make Sue being the leader work in these modern times, especially Silver Bikini. I really hope that in the reshoots they just have Galactus gobble her up while he swallows her, and then, you know, she's digested in his intestines, you know. That's what I want to see. And finally, to round off this video, there is a unannounced title for December of 2028. Is it going to be Inhumans? Real Silver Surfer, who's appeared in 600 issues? And not a background gag like the one we're getting in this new Fantastic Four movie? Real Namor? Incredible Hulk 2? Actually, no, I don't want anything with Mark Ruffalo in it. Machine Man? Heroes for Hire? Jim Hammond movie? Okay, jokes aside, nerdgasms aside, I think it's gonna be either, X-Men, which I think is possible. They're in production of it right now. The director of Thunderbolts is gonna be the director. And I've heard a rumor that they want to adapt the original 5 X-Men. I hope they do that. Or it could be another Avengers movie. I think Secret Wars is worthy of getting another movie. You know what I hate about the Avengers brand? I hate that it's used as this big event. Like, it's not used as a standalone movie anymore. Alright, because the Avengers, I think, are equally as standalone as, say, Guardians, Fantastic Four, and X-Men. Like, you can have some of the Avengers going off on a side quest, and no one would mind. No one would care. I mean, maybe the normies might, but yeah, I think it'll work. You know, just do an Avengers movie where it's a smaller event, not too small like Thunderbolts was, but just small, but still threatful. You know, not as big as Thanos or Galactus or Doom or Kang, whatever. And just do that. Alrighty, folks. I am going to go outside and raid some trash like a raccoon. And I'm gonna go make fun of homeless people again. Care to join with me, folks? Of course you do. Maybe that should be my new outro.